Okay. Now the next thing is there will be index. The index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now tell me what is the relation between the index of an array and the length of the array. Uh, have I told about this thing? Okay. So the thing is the last last index of an array is equal to length minus 1. That means the last index of the array will be the length of the array minus 1. This is the important thing. We have to use this many times. So remember this thing. Now next thing is how we can take input in an array. So it is quite similar as we take input in our variable. So at first I'm writing the code only, not the main function at all. Okay, so at first we have to create an empty array of size 5. For that I have to write int arr, the third bracket, that is square bracket, denotes that this is an array, and new int. Now we have to provide the size of the array. In our case, this is the 5. And this is also the length of the array. 5 is the length of the array. So our index will be 0 to, now see, what is our last index? This is length minus 1. So our length is 5 and the last index will be 4. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, whenever we use an array, we have to follow this format always. So to take input in our array or to print the elements of an array or to calculate sum of elements of an array, we have to use the for loop always. And the starting of for loop will be always from 0 to n. N will be excluded, not included. Because of this thing, last index equals to length minus 1, where n is the length of the array. Now for input, write for int r equals to 0 and I less than, what is our n here? It is the size of the array, that is 5. I less than 5 and I plus plus. Now to take input, we have to use the scanner plus. So I have to create object scanner sc equals to new scanner and system.in. You already know about it. Okay, now what we can do, we can use it at like, that means the value of I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, because this is I less than 5. So this will be the value of I that denotes the index of each cell of an array. Okay, now suppose at first I have to take input in the index 0. So now the value of I is 0. So we can write ARR, and we have to access the index, that is ARR I. That means at first it will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4, equals to sc dot next int. So this is the way we can take our input. Also we can provide system dot out dot println enter value to give the message to the user that what we have to do. This is the way we can take input from the user. Now the thing is how we can print all the values. To print all the values, we also use same the loop equals to 0, I less than 5, and I plus plus. The loop is always same. If the size of the array is n, uh, put n here in spite of 5. This is the difference normal. Otherwise, every time we have to use this format for printing the printing the elements of the array. So for this SOP, and I have to provide ARR I. That means this is for output. So this portion is for input, and this portion is for output. Uh, this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's make a program to see the demonstration. Okay, for this I use the online compiler. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this here we have to take input from the user in an array. So for taking input we have to use the scanner plus. So we have to write import java.util.scanner, and now we have to create an array. How we can create an array? Int arr square bracket that denotes that this is an array equals to new, and the data type that is int, and the size of the array will be 5. Okay, so this is our array. Now we have to take input from the user. For that we have to create a scanner class. So input is an array. Scanner sc to new scanner system.in. Let's take a revision. What is scanner? Scanner is a class. What is sc?
Object.
Sc is an object. What is new? New is the keyword to create a new object. And what is this thing?
SCR scanner.
Hmm?
SCR scanner.
Yes, this is scanner. But what the whole thing is called that I have highlighted.
It's an object name.
So this is constructor. Okay. So this is class. This is object. This is keyword to create a new object. This is constructor. What type of constructor it is? Default or parameters? This is default constructor. Sorry, not default parameters constructor. If there is no value inside the parenthesis, that means this is the default constructor. But if I give any value inside the parenthesis, that means this is a parameterized constructor. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the next thing we have to take input in an array. So we have to take in and variable I. The initial value of I will be 0 always when we are trying to store from left to right, that means start to end. Or if it is told that you have to print the value in ascending order, always start the value of I from 0. And I less than 5. 5 is nothing but the size of the array. At I plus plus, now we have to use the simple format to take input for that ARI equals to let's say dot next int. That's it. This line. Also, we can provide the message is system dot out dot println enter value for ARR plus I plus this colon. So now for output, we have to say use the loop in the same format. Eta equals to 0, that is the 5 and then plus plus. And print each element of the array system dot out dot println uh, let's say arr I, the value of index, each index. Okay, this is our code. Now run it. Okay, enter the value for arr 0. Let's say it is 7. Arr 1 is 3, 8, 4. I'm providing random values. 5. So this is our values. So this way we can uh, take input in an array, also print the output or print all the elements of that array. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the thing is if it is said to print in reverse order. Okay, I send you the code from here. Okay, now if it is said that we have to print in reverse order. Now
Like
in case of
I minus minus.
hmm,
I minus minus.
okay, or there will be another change. Oh, at first tell me what is the last index. Last index
Last
is
name is 4.
4. We have to start the array from 4. And what is our first
Greater
index?
equals to 0.
So this case, we have to write I greater than equals to 0, and here it will be I minus minus. We can run the code. Okay, enter value and inserting same value 8, 4, 5. So you can see this is printed in reverse order. Okay, this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so write a question. One thing have to teach that here the thing is static. That means we have the fixed limit. Now, suppose the size of array is dependent on user. So in that case, you can write like, for that case, the scanner will be at the front. Let's say system dot out dot println. So enter number of elements. So I am storing in n equals to sc dot next int. So n is nothing but the basically the size of the array that is provided by the user. So in that case, we have to write n here. We have to write n here, and for the reverse order, to write n minus one or here. N minus one. That means the last index, the length of the array minus one. This is called the last index of an array. Now run the code. Enter number of elements. Let's say I am putting 10. So to give 2, 3, 6, 5, 9, 7, 1, 20, 5, 6. Okay. So this is our array in reverse order.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt till now?
Yes, sir.
Can you understand the meaning of this line?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write a question.
Yes, sir.
Write a program
Write a program.
to take in values from the user. N means you have to take input the size of the array like this. Okay.
Okay.
So number of sorry, what I have told. Write a program to take in inputs from an user and calculate the sum of the n elements.
Take inputs from
The user
user.
and calculate sum of the n elements. The whole pattern will be like this, but there will be small change. So solve this question. Okay, so the 2D matrix, 2D array or matrix. This is also called matrix. Matrix. Okay. Now the term 2D, that means it has two dimensions. That means one dimension is called x and another is y. So it is, you can think it as collection of arrays. Now how it is, the visualization of the 2D array is like that. Wait a minute. Okay, so in normal array, this is for 1D array. We can write ARR 5. So because there is one subscript operator, this is called subscript operator, the square bracket. That's why this is called 1D array. That means it has only one dimension. And ARR, for 2D array there must be two subscript operators. Okay, this is for 2D. And we already know about variables like a equals to 5. Is there any subscript operator? No. So
Yes, sir.
the every variables are zero dimensional array. Okay, so the one thing you have to remember that every 1D array, that means one dimensional array, is the collection of zero dimensional arrays. And similarly, every two dimensional array is the collection of
One
one dimensional
dimension.
arrays. So this is the basic concept about 2D arrays. Now, how we can visualize the 2D array? Let's say we have an array whose length is 5 cross 5. That means number of rows is 5 and number of columns are 5. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, next there will be this way. Uh, you can think it about like this whole thing is array and the elements of array are also elements. This is one element, this is another element, this is third element, this is fourth element, and this is fifth element. Now next thing is the indexing of two-dimensional array. So there will be a name of this array also. Let's say this is ARR again, and as this is a two-dimensional array, that's why we have to use two square brackets, that means subscript operators. Okay, so the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these things are row and these are columns. Do you know about what is row and column?
Yes, sir.
So these are the indexes of for row and these are the indexes for columns. Now let's put some value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Well, let's say there is more many values. Okay. These all are some values, and the values are obviously integer. Okay. Now the next thing is in 1D array we have our index value 2, 3, and 4. Let's say there is 5. So we can access it using array name, and inside the subscript we are placing 5. Okay. Now the thing is how we can access the elements of this array, that is two-dimensional array. Let's say we have to access the value 8. Now uh, always remember one thing: to access using index we have to provide the array name, the index of row, and index of column. So at first you have to see uh, where is our elements and the index value of row. So 8 is in row. What is this? This is 1. The index value of row where 8 belongs is 1. So to
Okay.
access this element, we have to write ARR. At first, we have to provide the row. The row value is 1.
One. Column
Now,
value is 2.
and column value is 2. That means in the row 1 and column 2. So this is how we can access this element. Now suppose I am giving you one thing ARR 3 and there is one element. Let's say 0 and 4. Tell me what will be the value for this.
0, 2, 2.
See, in this
5.
case, okay. So for at first we have to go to the row, and after that we have to go to the column, and this is our value 5. Okay, this is clear, I think.
Yes, sir.
Now next thing is how to initialize a 2D array. Okay. So I already said that 1D array is the collection of 0D arrays. 0D arrays are nothing but simple values of the variables. So what we can do? We can do simply put any random values of similar type 5, 5, 3, 2, like that. So this is collection of 0D arrays, and in case of 2D array, this is the collection of 1D arrays. So this is 1D array. So to insert this, we can store multiple arrays. Let's say I have to store this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. We have to create this array. Now, how we can initialize this? So this is one array. I am writing it here. This is one array.
Yes, sir.
So I have to write as a single array. So this is one array. This that is the element of the 2D array. Now this is another array.
Yes, sir.
So 4, 5, and 6. And this is another array.
Yes, sir.
7, 8, 9. So what is the difference? See here, all the elements are 0D arrays. That means a new simple value. But in case of 2D array, all the elements are 1D arrays. Can you relate the thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, this is not the part of your syllabus. Just tell me, if I am talking about 3D arrays, so it is the collection of
2D arrays.
2D arrays. So this thing is continue. This thing continues for all the dimensional. Let's say I am saying that 50 is array. That means 50 dimensional array. So the 50 dimensional array is the collection of the 49 dimensional arrays. So this is the basic thing about 2D arrays. Okay, I think this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Here there must be two square bracket. Always remember, for 2D arrays, the bracket denotes the dimension of an array. For 1D array, the square bracket is there is one square bracket, open and close, and for 2D array there is two square brackets, and for 3D array there will be three 2D three square brackets, and for 0D array, that means that a normal variable, there is no square brackets. This is the thing. And now next thing is, I think this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today I am giving you the basic concept about 2D array. In our next class we will do code on it. Okay. Now, have you heard about this thing, nested? This term, nested. Say nested if, nested for loop. Have you
Yes,
heard
sir.
it? What is nested if?
Nested if it is the it has more if than more else.
No, this is if we use if inside an if block. This is called nested if. Okay. Now what is, so similarly what will be the nested for?
Inside the for block there will be one more for block.
That means a for loop that contains another for loop. This is called nested for loop. So we have to know learn about the nested loop. Another thing, we have done the program of pattern printing.
Sorry, sir.
In that pattern printing, like star,
Yes, sir.
then two star, then three star, like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the way we solve the pattern printing problem, this is the way we can uh, deal with the 2D arrays. Suppose we have these arrays. I am taking the simplest one: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Okay, make notes of the things after the class. I will provide you the recording, the small concept, that is the 2D array is a collection of 1D arrays, how you can access it, make notes in your own language. That will be helpful for you for exam preparation. Okay, so there is a index 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2. This is index. Now we have to print all the values of the array. Now in this case we have two indices. So we have to use two for loop, that is known as nested for loop.
Okay.
Now we already know the last index, that means the size of the, okay. In this case we always think about number of columns and number of rows. At first we have to think about columns and then we have to think about rows. Now tell me what is the number of rows in our matrix or 2D array?
Number two.
Number of rows? It is 3.
Number of rows is three.
1, 2 and 3. The index is from 0 to 2, but it is 3. Just minute. Okay. What is the number of rows? It is 3. Okay. Now what is the number of columns?
Three.
3. This is nothing but the size of the array. So this is one array. I already told this is an element, this is an element, this is an element. So what is the length of the array? This is 3, and the length of the each array, that is also 3. Okay, now we have to use the same method to access the elements. For that we have to write for, uh, and I told you that at first we have to think about rows. So the index always start with 0. Okay, and I less than, what is the length of the array? Rows, that means number of rows, 3. Simply put 3 and I plus plus. Okay. Now inside this for loop we have to create another for loop for columns. Now what is the length of the columns? That is size of the column. This is also 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So normally we will use I for rows and j for columns. You can use any variable, but normally we use this manner. You can use r for rows and c for columns, but I normally use I and j. Okay, that's
Okay.
it. Okay, j is initial value. The initial value is the index. For array it is always 0, and then j less than the number of columns. The number of columns is 3, and j plus plus. Okay, now we have to simply write system dot out dot print and arr. Let's say the name of array is arr, and I then j. uh, Learn it as a pattern, because this pattern will be follows for many programs that we will use later on 2D arrays.
Okay.
Okay, this is the thing. Okay, we will discuss it in depth in our next class. Okay, now what is the working of this? So there is I and j. So at first I will be 0. You can see here I will starting value of I is 0. For I0 it will come to the inner loop. Okay, now for I equals to 0, the values of j's will be 0,
Zero.
1, 2. So at first see ARR 0 and 0. That means this value. Okay, IJ. Now the work of 0 is done. So 0 and 1. That means 0, 1. This value. So this is done. 0, 2. This value. This is also done. After the loop is done, it comes to the next value for I. And for I equals to 1, there is 0, 1, 2. Now 1 and 0. 1 and 0 means this value. The
Yes.
This is done. 1, 1, this value. This is done. 1 and 2, this value. Okay, now the thing is completed and the value of I will be 2. For 2 also there will be value 0, 1 and 2. At first 2 and 0 the value is 7. It is done. 2 and 1 the value is 8, and 2 and 2 the value is 9. This is how the whole thing will work. So this was a brief concept about the two-dimensional array. Okay, so two-dimensional array is basically the collection of 1D arrays. So we will uh, diving into the 2D array. We will solve questions on 2D arrays from our next class. Okay, so tomorrow you have class at 5 p.m.